Hello and good evening from Germany. This is Jonathan Quell Higgins III. I'm streaming live here from Hamburg. Another beautiful early summer, late spring evening. Beautiful temperature out there. And I thought I'm giving you another update on the Armin Strom equal force gravity watch. But before I do that, I have some news, some breaking news, and I would like to entertain you a little bit. So at the moment we have 3 viewers, new record. I know that the 2 other streams are running at the moment. Let's see how that develops. I know that one of our strengths is that you don't need to watch it live. That you can also watch it later. We are not depending on super chats, so we keep those streams up, and you can watch it at your convenience whenever you have time. So my first and only guest in the comments at the moment is Dodger, who was first, and he says hello and good evening from from Poland. And I have Whole Milk here in the panel. Hello to other viewers. Yeah, now we are 3. Not sure if StreamYard is counting me as one viewer or if we have more anonymous viewers out there. I posted the link just in case that somebody wants to join me. So just a little bit, two small updates here. Apparently, there was an opening of a new Lange boutique in San Francisco. Mr. Wilhelm Schmidt was there, and I saw some pretty cool Lange watches out there, and I just wanted to share them with you. So Mr. David Weber was there and was explaining the watches, including identifying the artisan who engraved the balance cocks. So that is a nice feature, and I'm pretty sure everybody was happy. So that is Lange CEO Wilhelm Schmidt, and he's wearing the new Datograph Perpetual Tourbillon on a beautiful strap. I'm thinking about getting this particular strap for my Pour le Mérite. What do you guys think? That is a deep mud color strap, dark chocolate brown. I really like that. This Datograph has almost the same dimensions like my Pour le Mérite, so should be the same size and probably the same bolstering on the strap. So I will reach out to my friends at Lange and try to get such a strap for my watch. I really like that. But the watch, of course, is not too shabby. So this is the Datograph Perpetual Tourbillon Lumen in honey gold. Very limited number. I think they're making 20 of them. For a very high price, I must say, it is almost double compared to the normal model, which is also then made in platinum. But I'm pretty sure Lange has no problems finding 20 souls who are willing to move heaven and earth to get this particular piece. All the Lumen limited editions are selling like crazy and go to well-known and privileged clients of Lange. So yeah, we have some more viewers here. We have Tim G here. Hello, good evening. Goldfinger 808 is here saying hello to you. Nice to see you. Goldfinger, maybe I need you tomorrow because tomorrow is a big day. Same time I'm starting the show, and I'm gonna discuss with Dodger his brand new Daytona Pikachu. And I'm not the biggest expert in modern Langes, and I need any help that I can get. I hope that Tanzil will also join me because even in the preparation of this particular show, Dodger was bombarding me with questions that I had to research. So I'm trying to arm myself for the evening tomorrow, and probably I will make a total idiot out of myself, and everybody will see the holes in my knowledge, just like whole milk usually does. He's asking all the questions that I can't immediately reply to, so he shows the holes in my knowledge. I really like it because this is a challenge and gives me another reason to prepare for the shows. Um, so who else is here? JB is here. Hello all. Hello. Good evening back to you to Portugal. I hope that the weather is nice and that you're doing well. Modern Langes. Not sure what the question is about, but yeah. Whatever. So, yeah, thank you very much. I count on you, show holds, if you will, and it's always welcome. I'm not doing those shows to show how perfect I am. I'm doing those shows that everybody has a benefit from it, and we all learn from each other. And when you stop learning, life gets really boring and yeah, sad. So that is the interior of the new Lange boutique in San Francisco. As far as I'm hearing, most of the space is in the third level, so it's more a private lounge. What they're showing here is a Datograph in Platinum Pisa edition, only 1 out of 10, with that silverish dial. Not sure what you guys think of it. You may know that I had the perpetual calendar in platinum with this kind of Rodinei dial. That is the right term of it. I find it a little bit too blunt, too simple, and I sold my platinum perpetual calendar just to get the white gold dial, white gold case with black dial, which gives a little bit more of a contrast. But what I really like is to see that those watches are worn. So it has scratches and chips and all kind of blemishes. So no big deal. Still a beautiful, fantastic watch, and that is the way they're meant to be worn. Here, a beautiful Lange Saxonia worn with a Tiffany bracelet on a lady's wrist. They've been making those Saxonias in 35 millimeter size. I guess that is 35 millimeters, perfect size for a lady. And I think the strap here really makes the watch. Because usually you see them on black straps or brown straps. So to combine it with a different color, that really pops. So here we have the first Lange Tourbillon, precisely. That is the Lange Tourbillon pour le Mérite, the initial one, 38.5 millimeters, full of technology. So you see the tourbillon. It has a fusée and chain that you can see through the case back, but it also has. Does it have the? Yeah, it has the second stop, and the movement also stops when it's running out of power, and it not only stops, the second is set to 0 back again. So that is a fantastic watch, full of techs. Actually, I remember when they introduced this watch in 1994. That was the first collection consisting of 4 different models. That was the highlight. And I thought about scratching all my cash together and buy this. I didn't do because I didn't want to put all my money on one pony. I wish I did, because they are having collector's value here now, and they're going for very good money. So probably the investment would have been good. But then on the other hand, I wouldn't have had a James Bond collection. I wouldn't have had the powder to buy other watches. So if I still kept it, I had a watch that probably tripled its value. But a lot of nice things in life would have been lost, because I would have been totally broke if I bought this. But I'm having kind of regrets, and I'm a little bit envious of my friend Russ, who owns this particular watch. It's such a perfect, beautiful size. That is the sweet spot of Lange 38.5 millimeters. It is perfection. So here we can see a couple of Zeitwerks, one with the date, one without. And Here you can see the beautiful small Lange with the aventurine dial, which is just mind-blowing when you see that in real life. Very beautiful watch. I know that Lange at the moment can supply with those. I don't understand why people are not buying them, because I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's not a boutique watch. You can see here the scratches on the lug, so it belongs to one of their clients. So must have been a beautiful evening out there. And yeah, I'm wishing Lange all success in their new boutique. Now, we covered that, I think, last week. The only watch auction took place today. Christie's webpage crapped out and it's still not back. Have a look at that here. That is the Christie's webpage for the auction and it's still down. Unbelievable. And I'm not sure how much money they lost by that. So important information. We apologize that our webpage is currently offline. That has been going all day, so I can't really go into those lots. I'm relying here on the Hodinkee article that covers some of the highlights, but the pictures are not always the best. So the highlight, of course, was this year's 6301 minute repeater Grande and Petite Sonnerie. We've been talking about that chiming watch in stainless steel with the flanquet dial, with the enamel, transparent, translucent enamel. Unique watch. I was covering it, saying that that Patek usually doesn't do those high complications in steel. Very unique watch. Went for 17.3 million US dollars. So I was off because my guess was below 10 million because of the scandals that were going on with Only Watch. I was very skeptic that the auction would bring a success. The total amount that was raised at the auction was 26 million, I've read somewhere, and that is the same amount. No, 28 million Swiss francs, same like 2021, which was at the beginning of COVID, and half of it went to the Patek Philippe. I'm hearing that the room was not really full, so the interest, the attendance of the watch was not super optimal, but still a good price. Who won this particular watch? It is a guy called Zach Lu. Oh, I can't pull up Instagrams here. So he's the guy who also won the famous Tiffany blue Patek Philippe Nautilus, the first one out of that limited series that has been sold for charity by Patek Philippe. So he also has the Nautilus with a Tiffany blue dial in his collection. The story about this particular watch was that he was the second high bidder, and the highest bidder bailed out, and then Philips offered him a second chance, and he took it. So now he has another very high profile Patek Philippe in his collection. The guy is 31 years old. So the second highest, or no, it's not the second highest because there was also Richard Mille, I think. Richard Mille went for how much? 2.38 million. That is the necklace watch by Richard Mille. Only a drawing. I was hoping to see a true photo of the watch from the Christie's auction. Didn't happen. Another strong result here for FP Journe, 2.2 million US dollars for that unique sports model. And Recepi's chronomètre anti-magnétique, so the entire anti-magnetic watch made 2.3 million, which is quite respectable for a small independent company that is not on the market for quite some time. So those were the result of the Only Watch auction. Like I said, 28 million. Half of it went for the Patek Philippe, which was the star, the highlight of the show. And I hope that this all goes to charity, and probably next year we will be seeing even more and cool watches out there. Okay, so let's see the comments here in the comments. So somebody have a good, yeah. Have they got a special John? Actually, I'm not the best client from Lange because all of my watches have been purchased secondhand, um, or on the gray market. So it's a little bit difficult. So Jose Noventa says Moin. That is the greetings that we say in Hamburg. When you're not from northern Germany, you would think that this means Guten Morgen or good morning, but the true Hamburger says Moin all day long. So Moin back to you. Patel Philippe is talking shit. I was running late. Catfish dodge on as I may not make it. Yes, okay. So the catfishing is taking place. So I'm catfishing Dodger again by posting the link. Dodger, I really need you. So please hop on the channel. So yeah, Dodger is too shy because he's afraid of making an ass of himself. That is what I'm doing here on a daily basis, so no problem with that. Patek Chris is saying hi Higgy, hi Patek back, Patek Chris back. By the way, Crappy Luxury is running a Patek only show a little bit later. I think I saw Crappy Luxury in the comments, or was I wrong? 1 second, let me check. I think I saw Crappy Luxury somewhere. Maybe not. So Crappy is doing a Patek show in 40 minutes. I highly recommend that. I'm looking forward to Patel Philippe doing his usual fanboy shtick and telling us how great Patek is. While they are not here, we have Crappy Luxury. Hello, good evening. I'm looking forward to your show. Enjoy your Frühstück and German coffee. Get prepared, and it's gonna be my pleasure for getting a sleep. No offense to you, Crappy. Your show puts me into a mood where it's partly interesting but very soothing. So very often I fall asleep during the show, and I'm saying that in a positive manner. So Patek Chris says Zack Attack, that's the guy who won this particular watch, used to work at Christie's. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But certainly his money didn't come from his employment with Christie's. So that is interesting to hear. He certainly spends a lot of money on Patek watches, and that is all okay. So Tim G. Lange Saxonia thin like this watch. So I'm not sure if the reference is correct because they made different sizes over the years. Not sure which one really it is, but maybe you have a hint to identify them. Certainly a cool watch, particularly for a lady. Okay, so we have all the greetings here. So let's go into the meat and potatoes. The clickbait title of this show was I have a video, and of course I have a video. So for you to remember, and I'm gonna bore you now to death because this is the third time that we're talking about the Armin Strom Gravity Equal Force Ultimate Sapphire Purple. That is the watch that I showed 2 shows ago, and I blame Whole Milk for asking questions, and he wanted to know the details about what is this gravity equal force all about. And on the last show I tried to explain a little bit how it works. Now, where is the case back? Well, never mind. So let's have a look at this. So basically what this watch is doing is it is not using 100% of the torque or of the duration of the power reserve of the mainspring. This watch cuts off the top 15% and the bottom 10%. So roughly the watch uses only 75% of the power reserve, Why is it doing that? I've been talking about that many times. The problem with a mainspring is that at the beginning, when it's fully wound, the torque is very high, and the more it's running down, the torque is getting less, and that is not productive for high precision. So the ideal would be constant force. Um, uh, so they are calling it equal force, and for a good reason, in my opinion. Because in my opinion, it's not a constant force, and I will tell you why that is. So on the last show, I showed you the computer screen of the engineer that was interviewed, and he had the mainspring barrel on his computer, and I tried to explain it to you based on that. 1 second. Yeah, here it is. So, okay. That is the biggest I think I can get. So that is the mainspring barrel. So how does it work? It is very easy, or it's easy, but then it's complicated. So first of all, the mainspring usually is fixed at the center, which is called the arbor, and it's loose at the outside of the mainspring barrel. Armin Strom for this particular watch changed it. So the mainspring here has a kind of clutch, and it's fixed outside of the mainspring barrel drum. So that is the first difference to a normal mainspring barrel. Now the second thing is they're using this kind of it has a Maltese cross pattern, and later on the video you will see that this locks out at a certain point when the mainspring has only 10 or 12% of the power reserve. That is to cut out the weak end of the mainspring curve, because that doesn't lead to high precision. I mentioned it also on the last show that this is the power reserve indicator, which is quite clever because the power reserve indicator, when it's wound up, it will hit that little spring. So at the moment, power reserve is 0. Oh, we have the Dodger in the house. Hello, good evening, Dodger.
Hello, good evening from Poland.
Very good to see you, my friend. How are you?
And you very well. Yeah, you kind of catfished me on. Really, at this level, I can't certainly can't respond to what you're doing. But I can ask questions. And
Yeah.
can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
They talk about they say that it takes a year to make a Rolex. I don't know how true that is, but if it takes a year to make a Rolex, in your educated opinion, how long does it then take to make a Lange or a Patek?
I don't know
With all
how
the
they
finishing,
Mm. Very good question, and that question I've been asking myself that many times. Um, it, it is not that a particular watch is on the watchmaker's bench for a year. I think they are starting by counting probably when the supplier is starting to make particular parts. So they add that then until it's sent to Rolex. So I think that is the reason why it takes so long. So I don't think that those watches are for 1 year at a watchmaker's bench. Everything is computerized, controlled, and when the watchmaker is making a particular watch, he gets a tool set and he assembles it. Then it goes to quality control. Then the bracelet is being done, which is only a matter of a couple of minutes, and it's applied quality control, and then it's sent out.
that's typical modern manufacturing, but would you say that applies, that same process applies in a similar way between Rolex, Patek, and Lange? Would you say these processes are very similar? They're very automated and very sort of
Hmm. I
clinical, yeah?
can I can only guess. We had that statistics. Not sure if you remember that on the Swiss and John show. I was going deep into watchmaker hours by company, and I think we found out that the relation of watchmakers, their working time, and the output of Rolex watches Each watch has an average of 1.5 watchmaker hours. That is how that statistics was. With Patek Philippe, if I remember correctly, it was like 20, the average time for a Patek Philippe. Keep in mind, the more complicated take more time, the simple watches take less time. And with Lange, I think we were in the hundreds. So the time that the finishing takes is certainly longer, and probably because of the difficulties to machine those parts, also from the suppliers, maybe that length is a little bit longer. To be honest, that year, in my opinion, is more marketing than has any true meaning.
I would love to be able to see the bill of materials on the production of any one particular watch and actually see how long each process takes. For example, I don't know, do they use a machine to black polish screws, or is each screw black polished? And if each screw is black polished, how long does it take a screw to be black polished? And this is the sort of thing that really
Hmm.
fascinates me. And I guess it's something that we'll never know unless we're really in the battles of the engineering of one of these. That's why I hope we can maybe go to Glashütte one day together, and maybe we can ask some hard questions.
Yeah, yeah, probably they throw us off then when we are asking the uncomfortable question. But
Yeah,
let me
we'll just
correct
ask
you.
them. Go
Let me
on.
correct you, because nobody black polishes a screw. So the part that is
No?
getting black polished is the screw head. So
Yes.
nobody, yeah.
Come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hang on. That's obvious. There's no way
Hey,
you can
I'm
go.
German. I have to be
What?
precise.
I don't know. You over the top. Of course, you're not going to black polish the threads, for God's sake, Jonathan. Come on. I know it's just the head. But does the
You
guy
know,
sit there
you
with
know, we have a tough
does the
audience
guy
here.
okay, so does the guy sit there with one screw, right, with a bit of emery cloth or whatever he uses
Hmm.
to black polish it? And does he sit there for an hour, half an hour, 10 minutes to do each screw? Or does the machine take all the screws and then put them through a process
So,
automatically? Oh, yeah, this is the sort of
so
thing that
I will
fascinates me.
promise you next on the next show after your Daytona, I will show you a video. There is a video on the Patek Philippe main page. Maybe Patel can send me the link or probably show it. There is a video that shows a machine that polishes around 10 screw heads at the same time at the Patek Philippe manufacturer, and
Ah, I
they are
see.
calling it black polishing, but it's not. It's not, because no machine can
No, it's
do
not.
a
It's just
proper
so
black
highly
polishing.
polished that the reflection
Yeah,
doesn't reflect anymore.
exactly.
That's what I've
Lange,
learned. That's what I've learned.
yeah, Lange, for example, has two levels of polishing, and I think the lower level of mirror polishing, actually they call it high. Oh, what is his name? High reflective polishing or something like that. And then they have black polishing. But I was talking to Anthony De Haas, who is in charge for all the technical stuff, and he told me it would not make sense to black polish screw heads. He told me the time that goes into polishing a screw head, black polishing, would be hours per screw head, and they simply don't have the watchmakers. And would you like to be a watchmaker who is polishing on a single screw head day in, day out, maybe for the entire day, and the next day you're black polishing the next screw head?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah. So
If it's a
so all
passion, then maybe so. But no, maybe not really. To be
yeah.
honest, no, no,
So
no,
all
no.
I know is black polishing is a very delicate process. You need a lot of experience, because the pressure that you apply on the piece is essential and crucial, and you need a lot of experience doing that, and it takes a lot of time. And if you only have one little particle that is in the way, the entire piece is then for the scrap, and you start all over.
Oh yeah, one piece of just one piece of grit that just
Yep.
jumped in there. You'd be screwed, pardoning the pun. But yeah, I
Mm.
understand it because I try polishing things like knives and things. I do sort of
Yeah.
hand polishing of things here, but
Yeah,
It
that
is
is
a lot of work, and I can't imagine getting to a level where you just polish the hell out of this thing that it just doesn't reflect anymore. Yeah, it's just something else. Anyway, I'm detracting because you're about to play the video for this.
yeah, yeah,
This
no,
to
no, but
explain.
I just wanted to say, black polishing was my second beef that I had with Tanzil. So our friendship started beefing in the comments of Archie Luxury. Um, I'm saying this because people accuse me of how do you say, when you suck up to the leads, there's a grooming the leads. And so I was grooming the leads by going after Patel Philippe, because he called Lange being a Phoenix brand. And we've been bitching in the comments, I think, for days about that topic. So the idea that I'm grooming or sucking up to big donors is totally ridiculous. That is how our friendship started, and it had a new low point when he made the claim, and somewhere is mentioned on the Patek Philippe main page that they have black polished screw heads, which is ridiculous. I then called Lange, and they told me none of our screw heads is truly black polished. We only have very few parts that are properly black polished because we don't have the people, we don't have the time to do that.
Okay, one last question then.
Yes,
Okay, Seiko, do they do true black polish in their top of the range? Is that true
that
black
is a
polish?
good question because I challenged Joe Kirk, who is the brand ambassador, who called the micro artist movement screwheads black polished. And I wrote him an email and said, how can you call them black polished when they're domed, when they're not flat? Because to my knowledge, black polishing can only apply on flat surfaces. And you should have seen him backpedaling then. Yeah, yeah, it was in a sense, and it's very similar to black polishing. And then all this bullshit started. So he was pedaling back.
Mm,
So there is no
fascinating.
black polishing in Grand Seiko.
Okay.
Here, there
All
you
right.
go. I've just seen a comment who is finally supporting my claim. Where is it? I've seen someone. Yeah, here. Whole milk. I really love you. It's ridiculous to call Lange Phoenix brand. I didn't. I don't even think it's anywhere near Arizona. Well, the other Arizona part is ridiculous, but it is ridiculous, and it's a little bit nasty to call Lange Phoenix brand. Maybe I will go into that a little bit in a later show. Higgins, we
Or do you
haven't
want me to
started.
go into it? Do you want me to go into what was suppressed by the commie system? No, you don't want me to ever go there again. And what was destroyed and what was ruined by the defunct, ruinous system that actually destroyed a lot of yeah, what you'd now call Eastern Europe. Yeah, it was something that was suppressed. It's always there. The spirit of a lot of these companies was just suppressed by a regime that held everything back. Let's say for 70 years. But anyway, that's another story, isn't it, John?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Enough stories for the next
Definitely,
shows,
yeah,
I
with
would
me.
guess. One second,
Yeah.
I'm just pulling up the Tom Brady watch. Have you seen the Tom Brady watch, Dodger?
No, 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 no. Tom
No?
Brady's
Okay.
something totally new to me. That this,
Yeah,
you
Tom
just
Brady has
I've
a
never
new
heard of
watch,
it
so
until you
so
mentioned
let
it
me
just
show
now.
it to you. One second, one second. Tom Brady, Tom Brady. I showed that this particular watch to Russ this morning, and he just had one comment. So here, that is a new Tom Brady. Apparently, AP made him a custom-made AP tourbillon. What do you think?
No, so it's not Tom Brady who makes the watches. It was made. Who is Tom Brady, by the way? You don't.
He's a
Hang on, Mrs. Dodds.
quarterback. He's a football quarterback, very famous. He's married to a supermodel.
Who?
American
Who?
football, we're talking, not European.
Oh, they play. Yeah, Yeah, they call football when they play. Sorry, rugby player. Yeah, 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 yeah. Got you, got you.
Not rugby,
American football.
football,
Yeah,
American
yeah, yeah,
football.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Got you.
Yeah. So
Oh, you
so this
know
is
who? See, Mrs. Dodger knows. I have no idea who he
yeah.
was.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, so it's a rugby player. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it is one of one, and Russ's dry comment was it's one piece in too much. So let's let's leave it there. So yeah, that is Tom Brady's watch. I think it's fucking ugly. Um, doesn't do anyone a true favor, and I
Here's a
can't
question.
understand. Yeah. Mhm.
Because you raised it. Um, um, who makes what manufacturers? Why do some manufacturers pick on a certain personality and then make a watch especially for them? Don't you think that cheapens the brand if they start doing that? I mean, that's just put me off it. So they've gone and made a watch specially for some soccer player. That's bizarre. That is. I mean,
Look,
doesn't that cheapen a brand in a way when they start doing that?
yeah, but I think
Like
if it
double O,
would,
like Amiga doing the 007 thing all the time. It cheapened. I believe it really. I know you're a great fan of 007, but I would never buy an Amiga that had 007 on it because it's not real. I'd go buy an antique Amiga that was issued to the armed forces.
yeah, but
You
Dodger,
know,
they are not
field
earning the
watch or
money from
something.
they're not earning the money from those limited editions with number with 007 on the hand. The main success was that Seamaster Professional 300 that we all know since James Bond wore it. That was the brand new watch back in 1995 when they signed the contract. And I think the connection with Bond, I'm not talking about those limited editions, I'm talking about the normal civil one. I think that really put Omega onto a different and higher level. I know that Omega paid a lot and still pays a lot of money to be connected with Bond, and it's a very good deal for them, also
I
for
find that a funny deal because correct me if I'm wrong, but the history of Rolex and James Bond was the case of James Bond needed a watch, and somebody in the team happened to have a watch on an old strap that didn't quite fit the lugs, and they gave it to him to wear. So Rolex never actually paid, but
yeah.
they obviously Rolex could have outstripped the money side of things and bought out Amiga and carried on um,
But
supporting the
that is not what
007.
Rolex
They chose
did.
they
Yeah,
chose not to cheapen their brand, not to
yeah.
cheapen their brand by, sponsoring, watches for 007. Amiga decided to cheapen their brand by doing that. And that's the way I see what Amiga did there. They just went and bought their way into, a franchise just to, upsize their and then Rolex politely just stepped away, didn't it? I mean, it just said, "Well,
I
we're the
I
best, and
respectfully
we ain't
disagree with
paying.
you.
We ain't paying you if you want to use our product. Carry on,
Mm.
but we ain't paying like Amiga."
Yeah, but that is the difference between the number one and number two.
Yeah, that's why they're number. That's why Amiga. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. I love Amiga. I have a
yeah.
Seamaster 300. Also, I have a Constellation. I like Amiga, but I don't like the way their marketing people sort of go in and sort of
Mm.
hype up this 007 and then hype up the Speedmaster this, the Speedmaster with a dog on it. The Speedmaster, 11 seconds of fame on 11 Apollo 13. It's like, wow, just milk stuff to death. Sorry, I'm ranting.
Yeah, no. It's this is your opinion. I can tell you that that it helped Omega because Omega was in a deep crisis back in the early 1990s, and Jean-Claude Biver was the guy who made the deal with the franchise of James Bond. So I would say, but we all don't know. But I would say without the James Bond franchise, probably Omega would be now number 4 or 5. So they are now number 3. But I disagree with you that they cheapened the brand. Maybe for you, but I know that it gave a lot of attention for new clients to Omega who probably would never have bought one.
No, it's fair enough that it's a fantastic brand, and I'm glad it continued. I love my Seamaster 300 because I think it's a fantastic, strong, solid watch. So anyway, I've derailed your show enough, so I think we should
Yeah,
move back to the subject in
yeah, I
hand.
think to the Armin Strom. So I found a little video clip that shows both parts of this equal force mechanism in a short video, and I would like to show it to you. So please have a look at the power reserve. At the moment, the power reserve is 0. Uh, it will go up here and hit then that little spring, and they also show how the clutch is then released, and the mainspring slips, and they also show how the mainspring runs down, and then the Maltese cross at this part, once again at this part, is locking. So let's try to play the video, and I can play it a couple of times for you. Okay, let's go. Now it's winding up by the automatic winding mechanism. You see the Maltese cross? And now you can see it slips. Then it's wearing down, the power reserve goes down, and then you can see that flat part of the Maltese cross, and then the watch is locked. And that's it. So I'm playing it again. And it's locked. Did that make sense, Dodger?
Yes, apart from when you say it's locked, when you say it's locked, exactly what does
I,
that
w-
mean?
I will show you. 1 second. So it is now running. 1 second. You see, this is the so-called Maltese cross. It looks, those look like Maltese cross, correct?
Yes, yes.
So there is a
Teeth, yeah.
little,
Teeth.
there is a little piece here that moves that Maltese cross. Every circumference, it moves the Maltese cross and therefore the power reserve. You see here that flat part. That doesn't look
Yeah.
like that deep part. You see here the flat part. When that flat part is reached, that little thingy goes here and then locks the movement. Have a look. So it's winding down
So
now.
what is the purpose of it? Excuse me. What is the purpose of it locking the movement?
They try to prevent that the mainspring is running down entirely, because the last 10-15% of the mainspring, when it's running down, is very imprecise because the torque is not high enough.
Right, so they stop it before it goes berserk,
Exactly,
basically.
yes.
They stop it before it goes silly,
Yeah.
yeah? Okay,
Mhm.
got it, got
Yeah,
it,
and
got
we
it.
can talk about it, why they do it, because people can say it doesn't matter. A locked watch is worse than an imprecise watch that runs a little bit further. But there is a catch in that line of thought, and I will address that once we saw the video again. So
So
here you
that,
can see the mainspring barrel is running down, and then this little thing here locks on the Maltese cross again. Can you see it?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was just
That
listening
little
to what
pin here.
JBI,
Yeah.
like JBI has just said it stops it going entering the zone of low amplitude. Yeah, which I
Yeah.
understand then the results then from what it's producing is sort of inaccurate and
Yeah,
erroneous.
but now people
But I can't
can
believe
Hmm.
I personally can't believe they go to this much trouble just to stop that back end. Okay, so what if a watch goes crazy at the end and starts losing or doing whatever it's going to do for the last, I don't know, 15 minutes? It's just incredible,
That
isn't it? It's just incredible what they do.
Well, it's probably the last hour or two, but it's a
Oh,
valid
okay.
point. And just like I said, people can now discuss what is worse, a watch that stops when it's unwound or when it still runs, but it runs imprecise. And I would say it's better that it runs imprecise than it stopped. But the flaw in the logic is as follows. Um, when you put a watch that has run down on the wrist again, yeah, and you start moving again. This mechanism assures that you have enough power reserve right from the beginning because the spring is basically pre-tensioned already. It is not running in the bad zone. So right from the start, when you're putting it back on your wrist after it has run down, you have the optimal torque in
Nice.
the mainspring.
Right. Got you. So it doesn't have to go through a zone of, okay, when you put it back in your wrist, so what you're saying is it doesn't have to go through a period of being imprecise
Exactly.
before it's keeping time accurately again. Got
Yeah.
you.
So
Understand.
I think
Under-
that is the trick, and that is why it makes it more precise. It's not the process of running down; it is the process when you put the watch back on the wrist. There is no need to wind it manually to give it enough force. It is precise right from the beginning. Now the name here, gravity equal force. We were talking about constant force, and I showed you that curve that is still there. So there are still differences in the torque of the curve, even in those 75%. So I would call it a constant turf force, but it's not really a constant force. And that is why they call it equal force.
It's incredible, actually. I was just listening to Ape says, just nod your head. Apes, I can't believe half of this stuff this guy knows. I just, and half of the stuff they put into, I mean, for me, a watch was always just something I'd look at, the shape,
Yeah,
it was always form over functionality. With cars, yes, I used to be functionality over form, but, and motorcycles, especially because it's speed, it doesn't matter what they look, what it
yeah, but
looks like.
remember my fusee and chain on
Watches
my
watches for
Lange
me
and
were
Söhne?
opposite of motorcycles. I wasn't interested in what was inside of a watch. It was the form that was important to me over the function.
Yeah,
But I can understand maybe people like yourself, where you're very much interested in the function, and
yeah,
I get it, and I find this sort of stuff, this sort of level of, they especially made that watch stop for this to stop the imprecision.
yeah,
Um, I find this sort of engineer very fascinating.
yeah. But that is what fascinates me, and that is what I'm trying to bring to my viewers. I know that sometimes it's difficult to understand. So remember the other day I had that torque curve. So they're cutting out the low end and they're cutting out the high end here by engaging that clutch. But it's still not a flat line. It's still a curve. And that is why I don't call it a constant force. And that is why Armin Strom is not calling it a constant force. They're calling it an equal force. And for a good reason, because I'm pretty sure everybody would sue them if they called it really a constant force.
Have you got to the bottom where this word, why this, in what we're talking about, why gravity was brought into this whole? Is it just
Ev-
some kind of buzzword they brought in, or in this, is there some kind of gravity involved? I gravity as we know it?
Yeah, everybody was asking me that. I can only speculate why they're doing that, and I think the gravity part is just the micro rotor that is triggered by gravity. I think that's just a fancy name for automatic.
Okay. Yeah, because the rotor, yeah, I suppose, yes, it spins around. Gravity is having an effect on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
But
knew it
guys,
was
you get
gravity
an
pulling it
idea
back.
how the discussion will be with Dodger tomorrow when we're talking about his Daytona, because he wants to know everything. And here I've done now quite some research. Um, Tomorrow with his Rolex, I'm basically clueless, and I'm looking forward to his questions. And I need modern Rolex experts in the panel, and also in the comments, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes.
Well, what would be nice if somebody's got the previous model, the Oyster Flex, to talk about the difference between the new and the previous, because that's, does my head in. Well, we'll save it for tomorrow, but there's things I like and I don't like about the new model compared to the old model,
Mm.
and it's quite interesting, yeah, for me. But I'm talking more form. I'm more form over the function because I don't understand too much about the 31, the 30, 31, and 32 movements. I mean, I'll leave that up to you to explain the differences.
So I'm just checking comments here in the yeah, in the comments. So bathroom break by. I hope that crappy return. So Patek Chris is correcting you. It's football, is not rugby. Um, Andrea says it's isn't black polishing just involves diamond infused paste during the polishing process. Time is not the issue. It's not that easy because the tool that you're trying to black polish. First of all, you have to put that in a kind of frame, and then it must be absolutely flat. It has to be fixed very carefully, and then yes, it indeed it's diamond infused paste, but this circular rubbing process is something that you have to do with a lot of sensitivity and also experience. And from what I know, this black polishing can take hours per piece. So it's not only diamond infused paste, and there you go. And it simply can't be done by a machine. Dodger is going to ruin Higgy's chance of getting Jean-Claude Biver on the show. I'm trying hard. Not sure if I can really do that. There is a good interview with JCB in discussion the Omega connection with Bond. The studio quoted a price for product placement, and he countered, wanted to know what he could get for multiples more. I think that is true. I think Omega paid them around 60 million, not sure per year or per movie. That was the deal. So
I don't want to. I don't want to put JCB off. I'd love to talk about Amiga because I do love Amiga. I've always
mhm,
loved the brand because my dad, when he went, well, yeah, when he retired, he had his 25-year service watch, which was an Amiga, and I've got two Amigas, and I'm very, very happy with them. I just don't understand because I always saw them as I saw Amiga because my father had one on his retirement as a high level watch anyway. I didn't think they had to, just do some of the gimmicky stuff. It's nothing against the watch brand. I mean, it's very technologically sound. They've got the anti-magnetic. I mean, my Seamaster, I'm sure, will be just as reliable as the Rolex Submariner. I'm pretty sure of it. But I just didn't understand that, the marketing sometimes,
mm.
when they're going for the hype, and especially with stuff like, they're linked to Swatch, which I found, if anything, degrades the product or the brand. But I mean, they're all owned by the same company, aren't they?
Yeah, but
Who are just out
both
there to make
companies
bucks.
say that it was a huge benefit for both brands, for Swatch and Omega, those collabs. Not sure if
I
that's true,
guess
but
so.
mm.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it worked both ways. People who were into buying Swatch then maybe look to buying the Big Brother. Yeah, I can see how that works.
I
It
think
just
Omega made a
it just
big
came across very
mistake.
gimmicky.
I think Omega priced themselves out of the market by doing two things. So in the past, an Omega was 35% less than a comparable Rolex watch. That has changed. They're now almost equal to Rolex. But now comes the worst part. They're not giving discounts anymore because they're moving more and more to boutique only. So now the price difference is probably 10 or 15% to a Rolex, and that is not enough to push a buyer to buy Omega instead of Rolex. I think that is the main problem that they have.
Mm.
Because
The
when they
price
were
point, I'm
available
going to
at
say the
ADs,
price point, the Seamaster 300, especially
mm,
on the grey market. I mean, it's one. I'll show it a little bit tomorrow. Against the Rolexes. I just want to talk about what's a tool watch and not a tool watch, and more what's a dressy watch. I was going to do the form if maybe you can do the function side of
Yeah,
it.
but
Um,
keep in mind the gray market; those are not Omega sales numbers.
No, no, no. I know. I understand. Look, all respect. If Amiga, they
Mm.
kind of resurrected the brand. 'Cause I understand they had a bad patch, and I'm all for them being successful. There's no way I'd want Amiga to fall out of the market. So I think they have a fantastic product overall. And, fair play to any business that's successful and makes money, regardless of how they make it. But just sometimes I have to question. It can get a bit corny sometimes with some of the initiatives that they have. Just,
Mm.
how many more derivatives of the Speedmaster can we have? But I just, I don't know. I mean,
The
Rolex,
comments are
make small steps, but Amiga just, just do something, really quite big, every year. There's another version of the thing that went to the moon. It's got another thing that goes round the back, wingy, wingy, roundy, roundy, special commemoration of 11 seconds of fun. Anyway, it's just me ranting. Sorry, horse.
So one question was, why don't they simply use a dual barrel mainspring instead? Kind of useless to me. By connecting those two mainspring barrels, you can kind of compensate those losses, but you can't compensate them entirely because when both mainspring barrels run off, they're running off. So this is not the solution for the problem. The proper solution is only two things. One is the remontoir, which means you wind up a second spring every second, every 8 seconds, and that levels out those differences in torque. Or you use the Fusain chain, so you connect the mainspring barrel with that chain on a cone, and that cone levels out then the differences then in torque. Abe says, Dodger, just nod your head even if you don't understand. I like that comment.
No, no, I used to nod my head, but I do ask questions. I'm old enough now to be able to not embarrass myself. I don't mind being embarrassed and ask the questions I don't know the answer to. So, but yeah, it's one hell of a learning process. This isn't it? These watches.
Yeah, and you never stop learning. It is always good. I'm getting excited when I see people doing stuff that has been done hundreds of years ago on marine chronometers, and I see them suddenly on mechanical watches, just like a Fusain chain or a remontoir. And this gravity equal force mainspring barrel is a new construction. They put a lot of effort into that problem. Not sure if in practice it really solves it, but I applaud Armin Strom for going the extra mile for tackling that problem. Muhammad Ali gives you a comment. Dodger rules.
Thanks, Matt. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
But am I correct, Jonathan? There was a clock made in 1720
yeah.
that um, was plus or minus 2 seconds in 1720. I mean, now we look at, the cost standard of being plus or minus. Am I
Yeah.
correct? There was one, wasn't there? That was, I'd have to try and look it up, that
I mean
in
the
1720 they were
last.
already
Yeah.
achieving that.
Yeah, the last. I'm looking forward. Next time I'm in London, I want to see the George Harrison marine chronometers that he made. And I think in the British Museum there is the H4, and I'm really looking forward to see this in real life. It is a super complex, complicated piece of engineering that John Harrison did. I don't know, 250 years ago, and it's super precise. I think it even beats that accuracy that you mentioned by 2 seconds a day.
So, one of the things, we're all going to London in June, and one of the things we haven't arranged, I think would be brilliant. I mean, even if we do it some other time, is sometime we go to the Greenwich Museum, where we can see
Yeah,
all these old timepieces, the search for longitude,
yeah.
you know.
yeah,
the competition for longitude, and there was,
yeah.
I don't know, there was a £200
But
prize, wasn't there,
yeah, but
to
it
find a
was not a
chronometer that
it
would,
was not a British gentleman challenge. It was a challenge to solve a problem that
yes,
costed hundreds of sailors' lives.
yeah,
So
absolutely, yeah,
so
yeah.
it was not just two quirky Brits made a bet that somebody could
No,
circumference
no.
the world in 80 days. That was a serious problem, and the British Crown was putting a lot of money out to solve this problem.
Real beauty is you can stand there because you've got the meridian there. You got that is the
Yep,
exact 0 point of GMT
yep,
zero as well. You
yep,
know, you put one leg one side of the
yep.
line and the other, and you're crossing that meridian.
Yeah,
It's
Mohammed
really
says
interesting
that
stuff.
we should take please take a photo and send it to me. And one day I will be there with my world timer because my Celestial Voyager, it has UTC GMT as a time zone. So that GMT is a reference to John Harrison. Greenwich Mean Time is something that George Harrison put on the table, and I have great respect for John Harrison. So that is my homage to uh, to John
He was
Harrison.
a great musician as well, wasn't
Yeah, no, no, not George Harrison, John Harrison. I apologize.
he? All right.
Okay, so
You know
how
you
did
know
you
better than me on the show. Sorry,
how
it's not your
how did
fault.
you like the Naoya Hida watches that I was discussing on the last show?
Well, yeah, all very nice. Yeah, yeah, come on.
Yeah, so I just went on the Naoya Hida main page and discovered some more pictures of those particular watches, and I wanted to show those with you guys. No, 1 second, learn more, because like in typical Japanese fashion, they really went out of their way to make nice pictures of their watches. So that is the new two-tone, which I'm in love with. Here you can see the movement with a modified movement bridge. That is a 7750, highly modified, gutted out and put then into a manual winding watch. This is the hand
Oh,
engraved
beautiful,
moon.
beautiful.
Yeah, and that is lapis lazuli. So, but what I found interesting is here what they are saying. Number of pieces produced, approximately 5 pieces to produce between 2024 and 2025. That gives you
Wow.
an idea how rare those watches are and how difficult they are to obtain.
What sort of money we're looking at, Jonathan?
2020, around 25,000 US dollars.
Well, it's cheap. Compared to a few things you've got, I mean, that's dirt cheap.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not cheap, but those are still okay when you keep in mind this is an independent watchmaker who puts a lot of effort into those watches. So I agree, they are very good value for money. Have a look at that engraving here. That is
What sort of
negatively
movement do they use? Some kind of generic movement in there, some kind of
seven
Seiko. You know, they've got a
7750, and then but 7750 is a chronograph movement. So what they do is
oh yeah, yeah, Tim knows all about those. You talk to
yeah,
him.
yeah, he doesn't. So they gut out those movements, tear them apart, remove the chronograph part, remove the
Module off
automatic
the top,
part.
yeah.
Then they put that movement bridge on the movement again. So here that covers then what is usually then having the chronograph mechanism and then the automatic mechanism on top. So they got it totally out, and the result is it's a manual winding, very flat and very reliable movement.
Yeah, it's going to be, isn't it? So what it's based on.
Yeah, yeah. So I love that engraving, and here are the numbers: approximately 3 pieces to produce between 2024 2025. So only 3 of them available. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, and
You see, my problem is, as you know, Jonathan, my limit is because, I'm no longer in business. I no longer
mhm,
dress in dress suits all of the time.
yeah,
For as a pure dress watch, really, it's just not something I can. full off, really.
Yeah.
As I say, probably we'll talk about it tomorrow, but that Daytona I've got is something that suits my lifestyle, where it could be a little bit dressy, but I can wear it down the beach and everywhere else. And like today when I was changing the chain on the chainsaw with it, it's like,
Yeah, those are
you
not
know,
the right watches for those kind of activities. I would agree, but I think the term dress watch is really outdated because those are leather strap watches. I'm wearing my leather strap watches all the time, or most of the time. Of course, when I'm working in the garden, I'm not wearing them as well. But most of the time, I'm wearing them, and I'm not only wearing them with a suit.
For me, really, I'd wear that type of watch on a a leather strapped watch, what I would call a dress watch. I'd wear on formal occasions, but I don't get invited to any formal occasions
Mm.
anymore. So, because I'm, not in that clique anymore. So yeah, you just wouldn't get anywhere. I'm sort of sporty towards dressy, if you understand what I'm saying. Something that's sporty, but also if I put a sports jacket on or something, then, it also suits. That's as far as I can go. But, I do love these watches, the Calatravas, and, I do actually, if I just, the money was unlimited, then yeah, I'd have a few of these.
So here I have a photo of the Moonphase watch in stainless steel, not two-tone, and I didn't like that too much. I think it gained really with that lapis lazuli Moonphase and with the
Yeah, I
two-tone.
love, honestly, Jonathan, I like, as opposed to just I like that hint of gold that's in the steel watch,
Yep,
with the moon.
yeah, yeah,
I actually like that.
yeah.
I like the steel with just a hint of gold. I think that's beautiful, but that's
I
just
think
me.
that's absolutely gorgeous, that watch. Now here comes the
Yeah,
ordering
look,
process.
this one's a beauty.
Yeah, if anyone wants to order them here, first of all, you have to click on English here and then order, and then it says it gives you the order process, and the new orders are starting 13th of May, and it will close on 16th of May. So you have 3 days to order your watch. Then they're going through the application, and if you're accepted, you have to pay full whack within 7 days, or you will lose your allocation. That is how it works, and then you will receive your watch between October 2024 and February 2025.
Jonathan, do you think they'll sell to Polish people?
Yes, you can order it
Good,
from
good.
any part in the world, and then you can choose if you want to pick it up directly in Japan or if you want them to ship it directly to you.
Damn, and then you pay the tax. That's the bugger, isn't it?
That is true, but you have to pay the tax even if you pick it up in Tokyo.
Okay, do you? Okay, yeah, well done.
Okay. Andreas is quoting Bernhard Lederer. I promise you, I'm still working on getting Bernhard Lederer here on the panel. And one evening we will do an evening with Bernhard Lederer. I'm really looking forward to talk to him. Also about Grand
Oh,
Seiko
wow.
because in that interview he said that the brand that he's respecting the most is Grand Seiko, and I would like to hear from him why that is. I think it's going to be a very interesting discussion.
Do you know something? Since when we were in Berlin together, when I saw your Grand Seiko, I get it now. It Some of these things you kind of get. You get it because I'm one of these people that's easily influenced from what other people are saying on YouTube and what's in the press. But just sometimes you just have to actually get a watch and have it in your hand, maybe have a loop here and just have a look at that watch. And I get Grand Seiko now. I get what everybody's talking about when it comes to Grand Seiko. But it's only, I can look at the pictures, but it's only when you have it in hand that you really start to appreciate a watch, I think. I mean, pictures and videos just sometimes they just
Yeah,
don't
that is true. Yeah,
they, they don't do justice, do they, to the actual watch itself?
yeah. That is totally true, and I'm happy that that you're exploring and discovering some
Well, you
of
know,
the
you gave
crazy.
me the Lange, you gave me the Grand
Mm.
Seiko when we were in Berlin, and I brought my loop and my other super loop with a magnifying glass and super light on it. I mean, it's just incredible, you
Yeah.
know. The first time, because I can't just go into a boutique and have one of these, then put one of these pieces into my hand, can I? I mean, they just, just laugh at me, don't they? You know what
Oh,
happened when we went into Patek when they all were like flies round shit when it came to Jamie because he had the world title. What I wanted to talk about, well, they just laughed. I said, "Ah, you want to even talk about it?" Well, I don't think so. You know, there's just no chance. But luckily through being part of this community and knowing
but
you,
when you're in Hamburg, when you're in
I'm
London,
trying to
just go.
learn and see things
Yeah,
I've not seen before.
yeah. When you're in London, just ride the coattails of Tanzil, and maybe they will not laugh at you then at Patek.
Now, a whole mixers are laughing at me for other reasons. Yeah, whole mix probably. Yeah, knowing me, yeah, 2 years. I know, I
Oh,
know
that
why.
is nasty. That is nasty. Oh, look, I'm disappointed by you.
Yeah, I quite love Holberg. I know he's right. He's right. My characters not
Okay,
typically.
so I think
Okay,
that's it
yeah,
for tonight because I'm really looking
okay.
forward to Crappy's Patek Philippe show. One second, I'm trying
What's that?
to find it. One second, YouTube. I would like to post the link here in the comments. Second, Crappy
So we're not
luxury
getting any toasters tonight, or
toasters. What
coffee
toasters?
machines, washing machines,
No, no. As far as I know,
walnut
not.
grinders.
So we
No,
will
okay.
see.
We're doing Patek. So
Yeah.
he's pivoting from trouser presses to walnut
Yeah, and I see
machines to
he has
Patek.
already
Okay, okay,
he has
cool.
already 1 second, $1, that is $7, $8, uh, $12, 25 $25, and now another one, $20. So he almost made $20, $50 in super chats. That is basically what he earns per year. So it's gonna be great.
Cool.
So
Fantastic.
yeah, I put the link in the comments. I'm looking forward to our conversation tomorrow about your Daytona. Please don't ask the
Ooh,
hard question. Don't embarrass me. But I'm looking forward to that discussion. And yeah. So thank you very much for watching. Also, thank you very much for everybody watching this on the replay. Thanks for participating in the comments, and thank you very much, Dodger, for hopping on and asking questions. And this takes my nervousness away, and I really prefer it that way. So thank you very much
no,
again for.
thanks for the no, seriously, thanks for a bit of an education. I didn't realise this stoppy thingy that stops it going down to the last 2 hours. Yeah, all interesting stuff. Anyway, learned something again today.
Okay.
Thank you.
So good evening to everybody. Good day, and talk to you tomorrow.
Auf Wiedersehen.